Good morning, class. Today we're going to be working our first day with real clay, and it is different than modeling clay in a number of ways. The main way being is that it dries out really quickly. The more you mess around with it, the drier and crustier it gets and the harder it is to use, and it'll start cracking. So you don't want to mess around with it too much. You want to use it, do what you want, and then move on to the next thing and stop touching it. So that's why we've spent so much time practicing, is because we want to have a good idea of what we want to do. So I'm going to start by cutting my mask the shape I want it to be, and I want it to be, this isn't going to be a mask that's for my face, it's going to be a smaller mask. So I'm going to be making it about that size. I cut off this chunk. I like this rectangle shape. Decide if you want anything else maybe cut out. Maybe I'll cut out a square off the top using my tool. That over here. And I'm just going to smooth the rest of it with my finger because I don't want it to be all bumpy like it is. If I think that edge is going to bother me, I could trim it off a little bit. Don't trim too much, don't over trim, or else you're going to end up with a really small piece of clay. And that's going to be problematic. So just keep it a nice size. And I think that I'm good with that. Alright, so I have done the number one step, which is to cut out the shape of my mask. Notice it's on my piece of scrap paper. I'm not moving it off and I'm not squishing it down a ton. I'm going to hold on to my extra pieces of clay because I can use those to add on more details. So once I've cut out the outer part, I'm going to decide where I want my eyes to be. So I might, and this is the harder part, sometimes you have to lift it up to poke the eye holes out. I think I'm going to do, what shape eyes? I think I'm going to do circle eyes. Cut my circle eyes out. Sometimes it's easier if you draw it on lightly and then go deeper. I'm going to pop those out. I have two more pieces of clay. I could even stick these on somewhere else on my piece. I think that looks pretty cool if I stuck it somewhere else. But I'm going to hold on to those and save them because I'm still cutting out right now. And then I'm going to do my mouth. I'm going to draw my mouth first though because it's going to be more complicated. I'm going to do teeth. Don't make your mouth too detailed, otherwise pieces might fall off. And lift it up gently, holding it. Push it out. If there's a piece that was stuck, you could go back in and kind of try to get it out with your tool, poker tool. Smooth it out, and that looks pretty good for all the stuff I want cut out. Now I'm at the point where I get to scratch and attach to put stuff back on. I said I really liked these guys. I might squish them a little bit more to make them flatter. They're a little bit thick right now. But not too flat. If you make it too flat, then it's going to be falling apart. And I think I'm going to stick that as cheeks. I think I actually like that as a cheek better than up at the top. So I have to scratch down here. Have to, otherwise this will fall off, man. It is a guarantee. If you do not scratch it, it will fall off. Scratch right here. And this time we actually do use the water. Since it's not modeling clay, we have to use the water. I dip my water in there and about 3 times. There we go. And then 2, I think I only need 2 times down here because I got more water on my brush that time. Don't make it sopping, just kind of fills in the cracks with the water. And then all I do is just press it on. And smooth the edges a little bit. Do not put water on your piece to try to smooth it out. It's going to make it really wet and soppy. It's going to make it not as strong. I think I'm going to do the same tactic on the other side, squishing this a little bit into a nice ball of clay. Just one of my scraps. And then scratch and attach. I'm going 2 directions, not just one direction. Ha ha ha. water. You can see as it adds water, it gets a little bit, fills in all those cracks with water. And then water down here. And stick it on. And smooth it out. And decide what else you would like to do. I think I really like coils a lot, so I'm going to take this chunk of clay and I'm just going to make it into a coil, and you can roll it on your table. It's good to keep your mask on this. I don't care if there's a little bit of clay on the table, it's not my concern. I just don't want your mask getting stuck to the table. And I'm going to put that up here. But, oh, what did I forget to do? I can't just squish it on. I've got to scratch and attach it. So I've got to scratch. Sometimes it's harder to do these because they're so skinny. You still got to do it. Water. Oh no, I forgot to do water down here, so I got to lift it up. Make sure I get my water down here too. Sometimes this takes a little while, but believe me, it's better than having the pieces fall off. Because when they dry, if they're not scratched and attached, they're just going to separate from each other because they're not going to want to hang out anymore. When it's drying, it does all sorts of crazy things, clay. It's very unpredictable. And I think I am pretty good with this for today. We'll have one more day if you want to add other details and try to smooth it, or maybe you could scratch things into it. The only other thing I need to do is write my name. So I'm going to do that on the front or the back, wherever you'd like to. I think I'll do it on the top corner. I'm just going to do H. Actually, maybe I'll do an H over here and an R over here. I can't tell you how many pieces, those are my initials, how many pieces don't get to be back to their owner because the person forgets to write their name. It happens so often where someone doesn't write their name and then somebody else says, oh, that's mine, I forgot to write my name. And I don't remember whose is whose. So someone else takes another person's piece. But if you have your name on it, I know that is not that other person's. So make sure you are writing your name so we can see, hey, this belongs to Miss Roselle. Okay? When you are done, you'll take your piece gently off of your paper and put it in the tray at your table, because that's where we're going to store it on plastic. If we left it on the paper, it would just dry out by Friday. But we're going to be working our hardest. Remember, scratching, attaching. Do not over trim it because you just get one slab of clay, okay? So we're not going to be getting all new clay. If you feel like you messed up, you got to make sure you work with it. All your extra clay, you're going to leave in a pile at the middle of your table, and I'll have some helpers collect it and put it in my bags, and where we're going to keep it nice and wet. All right. Your turn to try to make your African masks.